Jey Uso sends a message to solo Sikoa, ways Drew McIntyre can return to WWE at Money in the Bank. Logan Paul's horrible reputation within the WWE roster. Charlotte Flair makes cheeky comments about her dad after in-ring return on SmackDown. Sami Zayn shows off his dance move. Former WWE champion takes a shot at the Bloodline. Fans angry after male wrestler slaps Naomi, and more. Let's jump right into it. Ways Drew McIntyre can return to WWE at Money in the Bank. Could Drew McIntyre find his way back to WWE programming in the next week or so? Many have been speculating about the Scottish psychopath's future in world wrestling entertainment and pro wrestling as a whole. The former world champion hasn't been seen in a ring since WrestleMania 39. At the big event, he battled Gunther and Sheamus in an epic, hard-hitting triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Since then, he's been missing in action. Rumors and fan speculation have been abundant ever since, with several explanations regarding his absence. Some believe Drew was battling an injury or sickness of some kind. Others have stated that he and the promotion disagreed regarding his creative direction and upcoming contract renewal. Regardless of the issues holding Drew's return, many believe the Scottish star will return at Money in the Bank on Saturday, July 1 at the O2 Arena. If he does return to programming, what might the former champion do? Could he return alongside other talented superstars? Here are 4 ways Drew McIntyre can return to WWE at Money in the Bank. Number 4. Drew McIntyre could accept an open challenge. Open challenges are all the rage in pro wrestling, and WWE certainly follows the trend. Wesley is known for his North American Championship Open challenges on NXT, and Seth Rollins has been hosting them on Monday Night Raw. When the Visionary was attacked on Monday, an angry Miz hosted an open challenge instead. The Miz was furious he couldn't challenge for the belt, leading to Tommaso Ciampa returning and beating the former WWE champion. There's a chance he'll want a do-over, however. The Miz may issue an open challenge live in London. If he does, Drew McIntyre might accept and then proceed to kick the A-lister's head off of his shoulders. This could be a quick but solid return for the Scottish psychopath before he moves on to bigger and better things. Number 3. He could be a last-minute entry in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. The WWE Money in the Bank premium event has become a yearly tradition. The show's name is taken from the Money in the Bank ladder match, a concept first introduced at WrestleMania 21 in 2005. This upcoming show will have 2 ladder matches. The men's bout will feature a plethora of up-and-coming stars. Most come with a lot of experience in the industry. Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Butch, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, and Damian Priest have all wrestled for over a decade. Meanwhile, Logan Paul is still new to being a WWE superstar. With 7 men already in the bout, it may seem unrealistic to expect another superstar added. Still, McIntyre could return to action by joining the dangerous multi-man match. If he does join the bout, he will likely win. This could then set him up for a championship rematch with Roman Reigns or a fight against Seth Rollins. Number 2. Drew could attack Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has a major match for WWE Money in the Bank 2023. The reigning World Heavyweight Champion will defend his coveted title against Judgment Day's Finn Balor in London. The two certainly have a lot of history together, and their rivalry has grown intense. The promotion has attempted to make Balor appear like a major threat. Still, it seems unlikely that Rollins will lose to the Prince. Instead, the outcome of the bout seems all but confirmed. Post-match, however, things could take an interesting turn. The Scottish psychopath could make his WWE return by attacking the Visionary post-match. Many hope to see Drew as a heel when he returns to television. Attacking Seth Rollins could be the perfect way to turn the muscular star while allowing McIntyre to stake his claim as the #1 contender. Number 1. He could form an all-Scott stable with other WWE stars. Stables are a popular part of pro wrestling, and WWE is currently home to several. Imperium, the Judgment Day, the Bloodline, Hit Row, the Latino World Order, and the Brawling Brutes are some of the factions in the promotion. If Drew McIntyre returns at WWE Money in the Bank, he could be joined by several other stars. More specifically, the Scottish Cyborg may be joined by Wolfgang, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Piper Niven. The Coffey brothers and Wolfgang make up the Gallus faction and currently appear on NXT TV. Meanwhile, Piper is an underutilized Raw star. All 4 are Scottish, which could be an obvious link to Drew. While the concept of a stable based around the star's native country can be played out, it could still happen. They could make a big splash on Raw. Logan Paul's horrible reputation within the WWE roster. WWE superstar Grayson Waller is hyped up about having Logan Paul on SmackDown next week. Waller was called up to the main roster during the WWE draft. Since then, he had been a prominent feature of the Blue brand, hosting his must-see talk show, The Grayson Waller Effect. Megan Morat caught up with Waller on SmackDown Lowdown this week. The SmackDown was elated for having Logan for the next edition of his talk show. We're going to London, England, and it's the night before Money in the Bank. We had to go big. I had to go to the biggest star I could find. There's no bigger star than social media superstar Logan Paul. Only 24 hours before he competes in his first ever Money in the Bank, he's on the Grayson Waller effect. Waller also hinted at the fact that Logan Paul is not a popular name backstage with the WWE roster. He claimed that despite both of them being social media sensations, he would be fair and pose some tough questions to the Maverick next week. I gotta be honest, a lot of the guys backstage don't like Logan. You should hear the things they say about him, but I feel a bit of a brotherhood with Logan Paul. We're both very good looking, we're both very athletic, and we're both social media superstars. I am an honest man, so Logan will be answering the tough questions next week live in London on SmackDown. Last week on Raw, Logan Paul made his WWE return and dropped a bombshell. The YouTube star claimed that he had pulled some strings backstage and got himself added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. This announcement, however, did not sit well with the 6 other competitors who had fought and clawed their way to a coveted spot in the match. In fact, all 6 stars came out to the ring and a brawl ensued. After the smoke cleared, the Maverick was standing tall on a ladder, just inches away from the Money in the Bank contract to close out the segment. Are you excited to see Logan in the Money in the Bank match? Let us know in the comments section below. Charlotte Flair makes cheeky comments about her dad after in-ring return on SmackDown. WWE superstar Charlotte Flair took a lighthearted jab at her father, Ric Flair, after her match with Lacey Evans this week on SmackDown. The Queen made her in-ring return after WrestleMania this Friday night against the formidable Evans. Flair was at her dominant best as she tossed around her opponent inside the ring. Finally, she locked in figure 8, forcing Lacey to tap out. WWE correspondent Megan Morant caught up with the Queen after the match. Charlotte addressed the encounter and stated that her father, Ric Flair, must have enjoyed the match. She was referencing a storyline from back in 2021 when the Nature Boy had sided with Lacey. The 2 stars were set for a showdown at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship, but the plans were scrapped after Evans went on a maternity break. Well, I want to go back to Lacey first. I know my dad enjoyed that match, winks, definitely left him at home. Even after winning the match this week, Charlotte Flair had little time to celebrate as WWE Women's Champion Asuka blindsided her. During the same interview, the Queen addressed the attack and stated that she was ready for this devious version of the Empress of Tomorrow. As for Asuka, she knows I have her number. She's never beaten me. Actions speak louder than words. That's why she attacked me from behind. My actions next week will be to face her face to face. I know this is a different Asuka. I know it's a more devious Asuka, but this is a different Charlotte Flair, and diamonds are forever. Woo! The 2 women are set to battle it out for the WWE Women's Championship next week on the go-home episode of SmackDown before Money in the Bank. Do you think Charlotte will overcome Asuka once again? Let us know in the comments section below. Sami Zayn shows off his dance move. WWE superstar Sami Zayn lit up the ring this weekend when he busted out some dance moves during a title match. WWE held a live event this weekend in Monroe, Louisiana. The show was stacked with top superstars from both brands. The match card featured Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Pretty Deadly. Other superstars included Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Ronda Rousey, and Shayna Baszler, the Brawling Brutes, and many more. In a recent clip shared by a fan from the show, Sami Zayn is in the ring with Montez Ford of the Street Profits. With the crowd strongly behind him, Sami busted out some moves. In fact, the beloved superstar chest bumped Ford to end the dance routine. The fan claimed that Zayn was in fact channeling his inner UC during the match to entertain the fans attending the event. The undisputed tag team championships were on the line as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defended the titles against Pretty Deadly, the Street Profits, and Sheamus and Butch of the Brawling Brutes. All 4 tandems put on a thrilling show during the main event. The duo of KO and Sami managed to hold on to the titles and came out as victors from the contest. The win will go a long way in bolstering the confidence of the undisputed tag team champions, as they are set to defend their titles against Pretty Deadly next week on SmackDown. The show will also feature Asuka and Charlotte Flair duking it out for the WWE Women's Championship, Logan Paul and the Grayson Waller effect, and the return of Roman Reigns. The duo of Kit Wilson and Elton Prince earned the title shot after they outlasted 5 other teams in a gauntlet match last week on the Blue brand. Do you think Sami and Kevin will retain the titles in Pretty Deadly? Let us know your predictions in the comments section below. Former WWE champion takes a shot at the Bloodline. This week on WWE SmackDown, Bloodline member Solo Sikoa was in action against Sheamus. Sikoa was cornered by his stablemate Paul Heyman. Taking to Twitter, Sheamus put Heyman on notice and called him a ringside rat. Earlier in the night, Sikoa took out Ridge Holland, setting up a match against the Celtic Warrior. The closing moments of the match saw Sikoa put Sheamus through the barricade, forcing the referee to call off the match. The Usos eventually saved the former WWE champion. Weak men need validation from weaker men. #RingSitterat, wrote Sheamus. Dutch Mantel wants to see a Uso penitentiary match at some point. The wrestling veteran was impressed by the Usos promo on SmackDown, especially the penitentiary line. Speaking on Smack Talk, Mantel opened up about the fascinating idea and stated that he wants to see the inside of the Uso penitentiary. Mantel said, "I thought it was good. I do like the Uso penitentiary line. I like that. So I would like to know what the inside actually looks like. Yeah, I want to see it." That's kind of out of the realm of WWE stuff when you have a penitentiary, because I've never heard anything like that. Now they can have a penitentiary match. My head opens up a lot of stuff. I want to see what the inside of that penitentiary looks like. The Usos will be in action action against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at the upcoming Money in the Bank Premium live event in a Bloodline Civil War tag team match. The Tribal Chief will be returning to television on next week's SmackDown. This will be his first appearance since being taken out by the Usos. What do you think Roman Reigns will have to say? Sound off in the comment section below. Fans angry after male wrestler slaps Naomi. The Bloodline might have fallen apart in WWE, but after Naomi, aka Trinity Fatu, just got slapped by a male wrestler, fans think they will reunite for one more time. Naomi is married to Jimmy Uso and was facing Jive Vidal in a match at Impact Wrestling when she was slapped disrespectfully. Jive Vidal and Trinity have been feuding for a while, with the wrestler attacking her a while back from behind with a lariat. The former WWE star challenged him to a match at the tapings for Summer Sizzler. Vidal accepted the challenge, and the match was on. In the match itself, Trinity was quite successful, getting the win by defeating Vidal. However, Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans attacked her after the match. Impact Knockouts world champion Deonna Purrazzo saved her, and the two had a face-off after the save. However, it was what happened during the match that caught the attention of the wrestling world. Trinity Fatu was in the corner, and it looked like Vidal was going for the rope-aided corner dropkick. Instead, he stopped and slapped the star across the face in a moment of disrespect. That clip was put on Twitter, and fans unanimously felt that Vidal had just bitten off more than he could chew, as this would lead to Jimmy Uso reuniting the fractured Bloodline for one night only. The fans felt that Jimmy Uso would bring Bloodline and the entire Anoa'i family to the fight. Others talked about Ricochet getting involved as well, and Vidal would find himself punished. Some felt that Jimmy Uso himself would be paying a visit at Vidal's house. Whether Vidal is in trouble for his actions or not, fans will see all four Bloodline members in the same ring soon again, but not on the same side. After Jimmy and Jey Uso betrayed Roman Reigns, it's time for things to come to a head. The two stars are set to face Reigns and Solo Sikoa at WWE Money in the Bank in a tag team Bloodline Civil War. WWE has a history of families feuding, and usually those are matches to remember. Fans will be waiting to see what happens when the clash finally happens. Has Jive Vidal gone too far? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. The Usos better than Roman Reigns. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry recently spoke about the Usos opening this week's episode of SmackDown. Jimmy and Jay kicked off the show this Friday, talking about how they severed ties with the Bloodline. The twins made it clear that they still loved Roman Reigns but would not take any disrespect from the Tribal Chief. They also called out Paul Heyman for trying to drive a wedge between the family members. This week on the Busted Open podcast, Mark Henry claimed that the Usos did a great job at their opening promo. He claimed that Roman had been opening shows for a long time and barely speak a few words. Incredible. This was a rite of passage. You've had Roman Reigns for years now. Leave the opening of the shows. You've seen Roman Reigns not even wrestle, a backstage promo, an interview, him in the office. Paul Heyman doing the talking, the Usos doing the talking, and Roman just giving a look. That's the way they've been opening and closing the shows. No Roman, said Henry. The Hall of Famer explained that Jimmy and Jay brought passion to the ring, and this was evident from their promo segment. Now you got the Usos open the show. They opened it with passion. They opened it with fire. They gave you all the information. There was nothing that you shouldn't have liked about that opening. Solo Sikoa was put in a match with Sheamus for the main event after he planted Ridge Holland with the Samoan spike backstage. The two stars put on a hard-hitting classic before the match had to be stopped. The referee called off the match after Solo sent the Celtic Warrior through the barricade, leaving him incapacitated. The enforcer also attacked the medics that rushed to help Sheamus. This led to the Usos rushing down to the ring and lighting up Sikoa with a series of super kicks. The former undisputed tag team champions also hit stereo Uso splash on Sikoa as the show went off air. Are you excited to see the Bloodline go through a civil war at Money in the Bank? Let us know in the comments section below. Jey Uso sends a message to Solo Sikoa. Jey Uso recently took to social media to send a message to Solo Sikoa after the Usos took out their own brother on WWE SmackDown. This week's show featured Sikoa in action against Sheamus in the main event. The match was set up after the enforcer attacked Ridge Holland during a backstage segment. Taking to Instagram, Jey posted a photo of the Usos standing tall over Sikoa. He further took a dig at the Bloodline member with a short message. UC got knocked out, ripped Jey. Wrestling veteran Dutch Mantel spoke highly of Paul Heyman for his facial expressions, stating that it added more dimensions to the Bloodline's feud with the Usos. Speaking on the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, Mantel pointed out Heyman's antics from the main event and how he stood out. Did you watch Paul Heyman during a match? He was on tonight. He was doing this and that. He doesn't usually do that. But tonight he was doing it and it was very, very good. Then they turned and left and I'm thinking, wait a minute, they didn't acknowledge Paul Heyman. Then it's almost like they heard me. Then they came back him and looked at him. They still got a lot of money with Paul Heyman. A lot of money, said Mantel. At the upcoming Money in the Bank Premium Live event, the Usos will face Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in a huge Bloodline Civil War tag team match. The Tribal Chief will return to WWE television on next week's episode of SmackDown. Which team are you rooting for in the Bloodline Civil War? Sound off in the comment section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then and you know I'm gon' feed 'em. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing